Yes, greetings everyone. This is your Emperor Ed Wolf. It's been a long time since I'd done this screen recordings and analysis for YouTube, and which I want to do it regularly from now on. Now let's get back to the points and we'll go straight into the analysis part. That being said, main key factors which we will be discussing in this video, even though it might become a bit long, the idea here is to be very concise and at the same time have an overview on a macro level. So moving forward on a weekly basis, what we are trying to do, we will have a clear picture as what the market is trying to tell. We will not get into too much of speculation. We'll just try to move ahead with how the market reacts and how the systems and our analysis tries to dictate the future trade plans. I will be updating it every day. Supposedly, that's what is the plan from now on for me, because we have gained the volatility back in the markets. Now again, let's get into the points. So now the main key factors in the macro level is the banking collapse. Yes, it did cause made this was main reason was the Fed interest rate decisions. But the thing is, increasing interest rates and repo rates are of the uh, tools of the Fed's central bank to maintain the liquidity in the market. But that situation, how the collapse of the banks happened because the interest rate was increased very fast, and whatever happened in the last 2 to 3 weeks due to SVB Bank or Signature Bank collapse, it's basically the interest rates went so high and they were buying the bonds, and it was not ready to cash up with a fractional reserve, because any deposits which you put in, they are not with the banks. They only keep like less than 10%. Let's keep that number. Some banks keep less than 5% of your deposits. No, but most of them, like let's keep a ballpark number of 10% for the sake of understanding, and others they will give it as loan. So now what happened is the bank run happens where everyone tries to take the loan. This was a situation which caused the SVB bank contagion to start. Again, multiple banks will go down in the coming months. It will take a bit long time, but then they shouldn't have increased it. They could have taken the whole year to increase it gradually. But that's the perspective here. But then their objective is to protect the dollar at all cost, right? So if you're going to look at the dollar strength, this is the once again, why is it not? Yes, it's loading. Yeah, see, the dollar immediately spiked up. This is dollar index, by the way, which is basically it compares all the other index, currency strength to dollar. So now why I'm telling you this is a very key factor. Everything in the world moves around US dollar. We might not want to accept that, but then US dollar is a foreign international reserve, foreign exchange reserves. And this is the thing which that's the reason everyone looks at the Fed interest rate decision. They could have increased it slowly. Yes, I understand the stimulus checks, everything that had given out, they had to bring it back. But then whatever they did now, the balance sheet is like immediately shot up. So what, almost like what, two-third of, I think two-third of it, I believe, of all the things they had pulled back as now has gone back to the banks. And again, it was no point of all this drama they did in for the last whole year and scaring everyone. So now the situation here is the banks will go into a lot of stress because there's liquidity crunch, and the real estate industry is where it will get a big hit, because again, too many people will not be able to afford that high interest rates, obviously, and then at the same time, EMIs, car payments, those are the situations. There is a lot of defaults happening. So it's an interesting factor moving ahead that will affect the crypto industry, because end of the day, dollar is in the denominator, right? USDT is again Tether, but they're keeping 1:1 ratio. That's what they say for US dollar. So if dollar gets stronger, Bitcoin will go down, inversely proportional, because Bitcoin is in the numerator. If you don't understand that, I'm telling you, BTC buy USD. You are selling dollar to buy Bitcoin, and then you're selling Bitcoin to buy dollar. So if the dollar goes up, Bitcoin will come down, inversely proportional. That's the reason I'm trying to explain this to you, which many of you do not understand, many of them asking this question multiple times. Now, that being said, this will be an issue for this whole month until like May. This will be an issue. There will be a lot of up and down and a lot of banking crisis situations happening, and there's a lot of liquidity crunch happening. Now, that being at one point the finances are in problem, but then the other part is Putin just realized, like I think yesterday, he told he's moving the nuclear weapons into Belarus. Now, Belarus is again is a friendly country to Russia, close to Poland, but then at the same time, because the United States is moving spent uranium. Some, I think, the weapons of missiles, which is basically like decayed one. So it's like it will cause again health conditions. So this is basically escalation. One is trying to come down, but then like wars are costly. You have to understand wars are like expensive and costly. And then the thing is, European Union is not in the position to spend money. Germany is almost going into too much financial crisis because of the energy bills and the Nordstrom, the recent investigations. Like Seahirsch, I believe, that person, he told like yeah, it was a sabotage by the U.S. government, but we don't know. The Russian government is also telling the same thing. Now, this might lead to escalation, of course. At the same time, let's not go into speculation at that point. We just see, okay, so war is happening. There is a escalation, and it's going to be costly, but the finances are not looking good, and the expenses are looking too high. This will be very bad for the dollar because it will be going up, coming down, going up, coming down. At the same time, I want you to look at something called as BRICS. These are the countries which are the BRICS and BRICS Plus. These are the countries which are moving away from the US dollar as foreign reserve. And they are trying to, like Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. I think it's South Africa. Yeah, and then now Saudi Arabia is also joining for BRICS Plus, and like Iran, I think is joining. I don't know Iran, but then like many so African countries, all of them are joining to move away from the US dollar. This is again against the dollar. So this is eventually will be like a bullish narrative for Bitcoin, but it's not like tomorrow morning scenario. But you have to keep this in mind because these are the things which I'll be referring back to you again and again. I think hope I made you understand, but then like what I'm trying to tell you is dollar is the focal point from now on, and anything happens, even though it will be inherent support or resistance of Bitcoin, dollar will have a very key uh, stage when it comes to where the market moves, how fast it moves. Okay, now, so this is the important. BRICS is a group where it's like a G20 situation where they're moving away from the dollar. They're doing transaction within these countries with their local currencies. The big partners here is uh, like Russia, ruble, and yuan. Yesterday we saw, and then there is rupee from India. So these are the things which we are looking at. Because the thing is, rather than by using dollar, they are using their local currencies because it's like okay, you buy products from us, we pay you in rupee, and then next time when you buy something from us, you just pay back in rupee, yuan or ruble. I'm just giving an idea. It's a local currency, so they're moving away from the foreign reserves of US dollar. It's a negative impact, but at the same time, you have to understand Federal Reserve interest rates are something is a positive for the dollar, bad for the economy. Okay. Now, looking at the financial world, there is a contagion, of course. Japan is the one, Singapore is the one. They have a lot of bonds, government bonds, and that is something which we have to be very keenly looking at moving forward. At the same time, as in crypto is considered, we are basically in the support zone, and it is clearly forming a structure. This is a like I will do a complete this thing. Like I think you can see this, right? Yeah. So this pattern, it usually will be breaking down. This is, I think I shared this pattern day before yesterday. That's the reason it was not still formed. That's why I did not draw that pattern in my last tweet, which I'll be doing. But once it loses to Fibonacci level, it's a key level. It's fascinating that it is still following the Fibonacci level, which I do last year. But the thing is, you have to understand these key levels are key levels, and then these are psychological levels also. Based on those, I have drawn the Fibonacci levels, and that's something which I intend to follow. At the same time, 200 EMA, even though there is a big rally, this happened, right? And these rallies are something like gap ups which the assets will not like, so they will always come back and retest the 200 EMA. So like by the time it comes, it will be somewhere over here. So that's why I'm thinking, right, it will make a some kind of a wick here and then rally up. So this will be the whole week scenario. Okay, you have to understand, so it's a whole week scenario. Most of the time is where I intend to, so is the point where I'll be like looking for usually buy zones are somewhere over here. Again speaking, if they hold the 1.6 Fibonacci level. Okay. At the same time, US markets doesn't look good, so this is the something which will always have an impact on the market, because most of the thing is it's up and down range wise scenario. $4,000 is something which it will always stay there. It won't break up because the narrative is not positive and it's not optimistic at this point in time. So $4,000 is what it will keep. So if that being said, it will be like a bit of a negative scenario. As I told, as a Nick, BRICS company group of countries included. Now Indian markets are falling. Okay. Now Indian markets recently have been in the news because a lot of foreign investments are coming to the Indian markets. One is due to governance, second is due to the climate and anti-China thought of America. They usually like on TikTok trying to ban and stuff like that. For our software, there Apple, everyone is investing. That is the narrative here. But they're moving. Most of the investments are moving away from China, Singapore, or Japan, and then the TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor, they are starting the chip manufacturing in India. So the reason we have to be looking at Indian stocks, but it's a range bound. We won't be investing in these, but then like we have to use them as a key to understand, okay, what is the market trying to do. Asian session will be dominant on Singapore and India from now on. Okay, because Hong Kong and Shanghai will be yeah, sometimes it will be volatile, but then like all of that reaction will be understood by Nifty 50, which is clear indication for us for the last few months. So we will be using this and Singapore moving forward. Okay, at the same time, we have something else in Ethereum. If we'll move ahead, this is in the range of sell zone. It is ready to jump out, but at the same time, you have to understand 1900, 2000 are psychological levels. This is the point where it literally fought. One second, hey, why is it taking so? One second, it's not taking screenshot. Oh damn, yeah. See this? This is the level where it moved around. That's the same thing that will happen in this zone. If it breaks out, it will break out. But thing is, we don't want Bitcoin to do some up and down, very drastic scenario. But Bitcoin does look a bit weak. As I told, it will be coming down and retesting. This might also do the same thing, but my scenario mostly is it will be in this range bound for this week, and then it will be like a immediate spike test of liquidity and then fall back is the highest potential which I'm betting on. But then you have to understand $2,000 is not something we will break. Don't have that dreams also. It's not that easy to be possible move around. But the same thing is, this is the very key level where a lot of scenarios happened 2022 May June area, because that zone is something of a psychological level, $2,000 level. It will play a very significant role and it will have a lot of narrative changes, lot of people got divided and too many analysts moving long, short, range bound. Everything will happen in this very interesting zone. But what I'm trying to say is observe everyone, try to make a narrative of yourself. Okay, don't just be like I'm telling myself also included, don't just follow me whatever I'm telling. My point is to give you a perspective. Once when you have a perspective, you just move around with what you feel is right. Okay. Again, you understood now, this is a very solid sell zone. It's not easy to break. It's playing around in this for how long? Uh, yeah, for last 1 year it's still playing around. Also, you understand, this is the level of 2021 range levels. It's not easy to break like that. Okay. Very significant key point here. Again, people will move up and down here and then change their perspective very fast if it goes down. But then say 1610 is a level where it must retest. But I would have been happier if it was retesting something like this. If it had retested something like this and goes up like toop and then immediately jump up, it would have been very good, because this is a level I don't want it to just skip around and jump out very fast. Yes, it did happen here, but then no, we need some kind of like a hold around here, tell okay we are strong, and then move ahead. But that has I've not seen. So that's the reason I'm very hesitant this market, because this is one is pushed up by the dollar weakness, and the second thing is the I think that what is that, USDC, I believe. Yeah, USDC panic, that's the situation that happened. So these are the main things I want you to look at, and apart from that, all the other altcoins will literally follow the same key level, same patterns, whatever they did. Ethereum does 90% of the time they will do the same thing now, because they do not have that much volatility and cash involved in them. Okay. Hope I'm clear with my analysis. The key factors which you have to look is build a perspective, build a narrative. Okay, you are the only one whom you should trust. None of us you should be trusting. Take our knowledge, no issues, but at the same time you should trust yourself alone. Do not, like, if you are in this industry and thinking okay I'm gonna go long, go short, just because someone told me to go long or go short, you will lose money at some point in time, because your greed will take over, and then you will be very weak, because you will do stupid things, because leverage is something which is easily available for anyone who needs it. I don't want you to do that. I want you to be better and responsible. You waited all these while. uh, if you have any bit of respect for me, do not do something just because you saw something anywhere. Have sit around, think what it is happening, and then move ahead. uh, Happy trading, happy investing. Be responsible. If you we are saying, if you miss a swinging sword, it's a 1,000-year life. So you do not think like on today is the only day you have to trade. You can trade again. The only thing is you have to be clear with your narratives, and always have a trade plan. Trade plan very simple. Don't overcomplicate. Is what I will do. Trade, plan it, and then just trade whatever you have planned. Okay. I will update you tomorrow morning when the Asian markets start, and then hopefully we will start get opportunities to trade actively. But this is the weekly overview what will happen. This is most of the thing will be range bound. Nothing will move out so much, but it will be range bound, and it will be very volatile. People will be switching up down, everything. Okay. Have a great day or night. Good night for most of you. So enjoy. Any doubts, do comment, and I shall be there for you.